we've been having these debates, these Democratic debates. Well, not going to say we have been having them. They've been having these Democratic debates, which are really nothing else but filler for the commercial breaks, the advertising revenue that's conducted by these, whether it's MSNBC, CNN, or what have you, where they have these presidential candidates come on and get sound bites. They try to get these sound bites in so that their campaign can stay alive. It's sort of like the Hunger Games, but for middle-aged people. It's kind of what it is. Because the debate, you actually, stay on topic. You should try to. People don't get to, play little buzzwords. You got to actually have some substance. So, but be that as it may, whatever title you want to give it, we're about to have another one of those things where they're going to bring all these candidates together. They're going to make a lot of money off of it because a lot of people are going to tune in. I covered the debates right after the debates. Now, you may go other places. They'll have more people, but they won't have more truth, Johnson. Here goes the list of people that are going to be in, okay? Joe Biden, Cory Booker, who should drop out. Pete Buttigieg. Of course, Tulsi Gabbard. Kamala Harris, Amy Klobuchar, who should also drop out. In fact, we should just right here, this isn't a tic-tac-toe, but Cory, Klobuchar, Harris, get out. Bernie Sanders, this other guy who should drop out. I'm not even going to dignify him by saying his name. He shouldn't even be here. Elizabeth Warren, Andrew Yang. So that's our field of 10. That's who's going to be in the debates, guys.
In the CNN Des Moines Register poll, Mayor Pete is up 16 points, count them, since September, putting him in first place with 25%. Senator Elizabeth Warren comes in second, 9 points behind with 16%. Former Vice President Joe Biden and Senator Bernie Sanders follow, both tied at 15% each, while Senator Amy Klobuchar sits at 6%.
So let's stop right there. We'll get to CB's poll in a second. But, Adrian, let's keep those numbers up. And, there are three things that stand out here. One, of course, Pete Buttigieg. He's in a great place right now, 9 points ahead in this poll. He is surging. You look at his favorables, they're higher than everybody else's. This guy is in good shape, and I'm not so sure it's going to be easy for them to attack Pete the way they attacked Elizabeth, which leads to the second line. Elizabeth Warren, she definitely has plateaued over the past month. I'm not saying that it's going to be, but she was on an upswing. I'm not saying it's certainly fatal for her, but there is no doubt Medicare for all and the math behind it has caused Democrats to take a second look there. And Joe Biden also, he's down 5. Biden, though, has plateaued in a lot of polls we've seen over the past week. And there's Bernie holding in there at 15%. But no doubt, Mayor Pete is on the rise. And for now, at least, Senator Warren has plateaued.
Yeah, you're exactly right, Joe. I mean, first of all, this is great news. Undeniably for Mayor Pete in this poll, this is the first time that we've seen him on top. He's 9 points above his second-place rival, Elizabeth Warren. You couple that, Joe, with the fact that Mayor Pete has the strongest ground game in Iowa. That's a very well-known fact. He's got over 100 people on staff. He's got 20 field offices. So you couple his strength in this poll with the strong ground game, and that is a recipe for success in Iowa. Now, I do want to point out there is a little bit of good news here, I think, for Joe Biden in this poll, because when you get into some of the deeper questions in the poll, one of them being what is the most important priority for you as a voter, as a caucus goer? The number one priority is electing somebody who can beat Donald Trump. And that person still in this poll is Joe Biden. 25% of caucus goers said that they still believe that he is the most electable against Donald Trump. So again, you couple that with the fact that, as you mentioned, Joe Biden is staying pretty steady, sort of plateaued around 15%. That's good news for him. And he's also doing well in some of the other early state polling as well, most notably, of course, South Carolina. I think the biggest challenge for Mayor Pete, to the point is, you mentioned, is how does he get a more diverse coalition? How does he attract African-American voters? That doesn't necessarily, that doesn't really matter so much in Iowa, but it does matter if you're going to be successful during the duration of this primary. I think on Wednesday night for the debate, Joe, I'm looking forward to seeing Who goes after Mayor Pete? He's now the front runner in Iowa. There's got to be somebody on that debate stage who attacks him. I don't really know what they attack him on because he doesn't have a voting record.
You're too nice.
You know, I mean, he's been the mayor of South Bend. He doesn't have a voting record, but someone on that stage is going to go after him. I don't think it's going to be Joe Biden. I don't think it's going to be Elizabeth Warren. They've notoriously not gone after, not lodged attacks on their opponents.
Right.
But is it going to be Amy Klobuchar? Is it going to be Cory Booker? Well, we'll see.
Well, so my warning to any Democrats that are going to attack Mayor Pete, you've attacked other people on the stage that aren't intellectually nimble. He's intellectually nimble, so you better prepare your attack, because I promise he will turn it back around on you. He's different than the others. He is a really skilled political athlete. Let me ask you, Rev.
Mwah. Mwah. That wasn't for you guys. That was me imitating Joe Scarborough kissing Pete Buttigieg's ass. Hey, I'm wondering if Mika, she probably felt uncomfortable watching her husband kiss that man's butt virtually through the screen. What do you mean? Oh, you got to be really worried about going after Pete. Pete, he's intellectually nimble. Yeah, that's a fancy word for saying he's a shisty, slimy, scheming son of a... You know the rest. Don't get me demonetized, but you know what I'm talking about. Come on, that's all that. He's intellectually nimble. That means he has no center. He has no core. You can't attack him on anything because he hasn't done anything. Okay? And when you go after him, he'll switch it around on you. He'll use what's called as the LGBTQIA alphabet soup of retorts on you. You know? And use his interrogation skills he learned at the CIA when he was running black ops on you. His social engineering and lying ability. His ability to say nothing while talking a whole lot. But that's not something you want to aspire to. So, you know, Joe Scarborough giving all this weight to the lightweight in the race. In fact, outside of Andrew Yang, Pete has the least amount of experience doing anything even remotely related to politics. Now, I'm not saying that's negative all the way. You know, Trump didn't have any, he didn't have any experience either. So I'm not saying necessarily having no experience makes you unqualified. But what I'm saying is Pete doesn't have any experience. He made it sound like Pete's the one you should worry about. I don't think that's the person you need to worry about, Johnson. Nah, he's not the threat that's going to be on that stage, frankly. I mean, of the people who have scored knockouts or near knockouts or hit the hardest during these debates, I don't think it was Pete. No, not even close. One person comes to mind, Tulsi Gabbard.
And I'm proud of that work.
I want to bring in Congresswoman Gabbard. Congresswoman Gabbard, you took issue with Senator Harris confronting Vice President Biden at the last debate. You called it a, quote, false accusation that Joe Biden is a racist. What's your response?
I want to bring the conversation back to the broken criminal justice system that is disproportionately negatively impacting black and brown people all across this country today. Now, Senator Harris says she's proud of her record as a prosecutor and that she'll be a prosecutor president, but I'm deeply concerned about this record. There are too many examples to cite, but she put over 1,500 people in jail for marijuana violations and then laughed about it when she was asked if she ever smoked marijuana. She blocked evidence. She blocked evidence that would have freed an innocent man from death row until the courts forced her to do so. She kept people in prison beyond their sentences to use them as cheap labor for the state of California. And she fought to keep cash bail system in place that impacts poor people in the worst kind of way.
Who knocked the hell out of Tim Ryan and then proceeded to knock the hell out of Kamala Harris. In fact, Kamala's still unable to, recite her ABCs properly. A, B, F, G, R, L, S, T, D, Q, M, N, O, D, E, F, Z. Let's be really, really clear. My name is Pterodactyl. Kamala Harris, you don't seem to be quite be yourself. I'm fine. Be really, really clear. I'm really fine. Okay. What's 2 + 2? Burgundy. Pete didn't deliver blows like that. And coming in second with a hard punch was my man Julian Castro.
They do not have to buy in. They do not have to buy in.
You just said that. You just said that 2 minutes ago. You just said 2 minutes ago that they would have to buy in. You said they would have to buy in.
Have to buy in. If she qualifies for Medicaid,
are you forgetting what you said 2 minutes ago? Every time something good about Barack Obama comes up, he says, "Oh, I was there, I was there, I was there. That's me too." And then every time somebody questions part of the administration that we were both part of, he says, "Well, that was the president." I mean, he wants to take credit for Obama's work, but not have to answer to any questions.
Woo! Julian Castro, the brown bomber. Bam! He hit Biden with a boom, boom. Two-piece, baby. Two-piece. It wasn't Pete. And then third would be Bernie with his takedown of Tim Ryan. I mean, it still to this day echoes around progressive chat groups and boardrooms, Facebook groups and Reddit's threads.
Medicare for All is comprehensive. It covers all health care needs for senior citizens. It will finally include dental care, hearing aids, and eyeglasses.
But you don't know
Second
that.
of all,
you don't know that,
second
Bernie.
of all,
We'll come to you in a second,
I do know,
Congressman.
and I wrote the damn bill. And second of all,
I wrote the damn bill. I wrote the damn bill. Like Pete didn't have a notable. I mean, really think about it, guys. Pump the brakes for a second. Let's enjoy this moment of me exposing the chicanery of the chain gang of MSNBC. All right? If Pete was such a devastating performer in these debates, why don't we remember, like, his line? I mean, we all remember Tulsi Gabbard. I mean, she had like two. I mean, Tim Ryan, I think she punished him too. He jumped out there on foreign policy, wasn't it?
I would just say I don't want to be engaged. I wish we were spending all this money in places that I've represented that have been completely forgotten and we were rebuilding. But the reality of it is, if the United States isn't engaged, the Taliban will grow and they will have bigger, bolder terrorist acts. We have got to have some present there.
The Taliban was there long before we came in. They'll be there long before we leave.
Well,
we cannot keep U.S. troops deployed to Afghanistan thinking that we're going to somehow squash this Taliban that has been there, that every other country that's tried has failed.
I didn't say squash them. When we weren't in there, they started flying planes into our buildings. So I'm just saying right now,
the Taliban didn't attack us on 9/11. Al-Qaeda did.
Well,
yeah, he got out there on foreign policy, and he just effectively ended his campaign. I mean, he didn't know he was dead, but he was. He was really dead after that. And it was like Tulsi didn't really want to give him the business, but he just kept being a little gnat. She was like, "You know I'm a killer, right? You do know I am a killer. I mean, literally. I really am a killer." He didn't know. He had to find out for himself. And then, so we remember Tulsi Gabbard's moment with Kamala. Come on, man. This is going to go down in history. There are going to be people talking about that debate 30 years from now. No one's been destroyed quite like this since the debate of 2019 when the former cop took on the veteran, active duty congressperson from the great state of Hawaii. So it just, to me, it's just totally laughable that they try to pump up this guy, Pete Buttigieg. And that's what they've been doing. And that's why he's doing so well in the polls, because they artificially inflate this guy. I'm serious, guys. I'm really trying to think about when did Pete do something in the debates that's really stuck, that really landed such a blow. I mean, he went after Elizabeth Warren and basically called her like untrustworthy or something. It didn't really stick. And I thought it made him look kind of cowardly, in my opinion. It just made him look a little petty, you know?
And for middle-class families, they will go down. I will not sign a bill into law that does not lower costs for middle-class families.
Mayor Buttigieg, you say Senator Warren has been, quote, evasive about how she's going to pay for Medicare for all. What's your response?
Well, we heard it tonight, a yes or no question that didn't get a yes or no answer. Look, this is why people here in the Midwest are so frustrated with Washington in general and Capitol Hill in particular, Your signature, Senator, is to have a plan for everything, except this. No plan has been laid out to explain how a multi-trillion-dollar hole in this Medicare for All plan that Senator Warren is putting forward is supposed to get filled in. And the thing is, we really can deliver health care for every American and move forward with the boldest, biggest transformation since the inception of Medicare itself. But the way to do it without a giant multi-trillion-dollar hole and without having to avoid a yes or no question is Medicare for all who want it. We take a version of Medicare, we let you access it if you want to, and if you prefer to stay on your private plan, you can do that too. That is what most Americans want. Medicare for all who want it, trusting you to make the right decision for your health care and for your family, and it can be delivered without an increase
Senator,
on
your
middle-class
response?
taxes.
So let's be clear. Whenever someone hears the term Medicare for all who want it, understand what that really means. It's Medicare for all who can afford it.
It's all about, you do the debates to help you in the polls. The debate performance can move the polls, and it also can move the cash register, Johnson. So without money in our current system, you are screwed. Pete Buttigieg, first actual going to the polls will be in Iowa. Then we got Elizabeth Warren. And everybody was saying Elizabeth Warren was running away with this thing. If you look back a couple of weeks, there was so much pumping up Elizabeth Warren, it was almost like we might as well just end it now. Yeah, they were all but saying that on these shows on CNN and MSNBC. It was like, hey, I don't even understand why Bernie's still in it. It's just a waste of time. Obviously, Elizabeth Warren's going to run away with the whole thing, Johnson. Oh, Joe Biden, what are you doing? This is pathetic. Why is he still running? He should just quit now. Save some time. Go drive his Corvette. And now look at it. It's a whole different scenario. Now they're saying Elizabeth Warren is stuck in neutral, and Pete Buttigieg's running away with it. So now Elizabeth Warren might as well just pack it up. When are we just going to accept the polling, the reporting, all of this corporate media jazz is all to sell tickets to the big show? When are we going to get through our heads that we're being duped every step of the way? We're being gaslighted or gaslit because they need to put butts in the seats, baby. Do you know how much revenue is generated from this little theatrical event? So the sooner you and I and all of us accept that we're dealing with unscrupulous people who play on our emotions in order to make profits, that's similar to a boxing match, then we'll be able to sort of like calm down, focus on issues that matter, and read the tape. Because if you relied on corporate media to call it straight, you wasting your time, Johnson. Wasting your time. Another reason why I want to point this out is that they got Amy Klobuchar at 6%. Guys, I've seen a squirrel play the violin, but I've never seen an Amy Klobuchar bumper sticker. I'm serious, guys. I've seen some crazy stuff. Well, I lived in the hood. I saw a lady high off PCP in the middle of January walk down the street with no clothes on. She was that high. I was like, what kind of bodysuit is she wearing? Tights? What is that? My friend was like, nah, man, she naked, man. I was like, it's January and she outside naked? I've seen that. It was daylight. She just walked by me. I said, lady, you know you ain't got no clothes on. And she said, he coming, man. He coming. I'm like, who's coming? She looked me dead in the eye and she said, God, fool, and ran down the street. No clothes on, broad daylight. January. 30, 28 degrees outside, something like that. Gusty, windy day. So I've seen that. That's against the law, and it's not something you're supposed to see. You should never see that. She was an unclean lady, too. Did not smell right. But the point is, I've seen that. But you know what I haven't seen? an enthusiastic person who supported Amy Klobuchar. Never seen it, Johnson. Never seen it. I saw a 5-year-old driving a pickup truck when I went over to my friend's house who lived in Catlett, Virginia. 5-year-old was driving the pickup truck, just driving it. Then she parallel parked the car, parallel parked the truck. Get out my way, Blackie. She backed it up and swerved it in. Everything, just sweet. She was good. I couldn't believe it. I've seen that happen, my own eyes. But I've never seen someone wearing an Amy Klobuchar shirt. But you tell me she's 6%, Tulsi Gabbard is at 2%, and Andrew Yang is at 3%, and I'm supposed to believe it? You know, remember when everybody was jumping on us? Well, you may remember this. Yeah. Remember when everybody was jumping on us because black people were supporting Barack Obama? They were like, who are you voting for, Johnson? And I was like, Barack. Just dumb. I didn't know he was garbage, right? But, you know, it's like, hey, I want a black president. And they were like, look at you black people just voting for Obama for no reason other than his skin tone. Well, you know what I've noticed? There's a lot of people doing the same thing. But now that it's not us, it's other people, they don't say it. Like, there has to be a bunch of Iowans, white women who are voting for Amy Klobuchar for no other reason than that, because there is nothing interesting at all about Amy Klobuchar. The most interesting thing about Amy Klobuchar is her last name is Klobuchar, which rhymes with crowbar jaw or something, or chainsaw, or chickapaw, or come get the dog, y'all, or outside backyard crawl, or there goes a dinosaur. Like nothing. Somebody grab me a jar bar, Smars bar, jar car. That's the most interesting thing about it. But somehow she's at 6% in Iowa. Andrew Yang, out of the blue, don't get me wrong, interesting guy. Offering to give away money. Has events where he talks with his hands like this all day. And has a weird laugh, a bro laugh. No one else is laughing. But still, somehow, hordes of people are supporting him. It wouldn't have anything to do with the money cannon he shoots out at events, is it? No one takes me serious. You're shooting money out like this is a strip club, like this is Magic City. You are actually making it rain at events, and then when people say you're a one-trick pony, you get mad. But a lot of people support it. They're in the comment sections mad right now. I don't care. So how are you going to fix the problems in the inner city with poverty? Well, we're going to, automation. Automation is the thing. So what we need to do is we need to focus on robotics. And if we focus on robotics, then, people will, the babies won't die. and then we can, and my child is autistic. And I don't know why I'm laughing at that. That's not funny, but and then my wife, she stays a stay-at-home mom, and that's because she didn't, And when I started the Freedom Dividend, when I came up with the Freedom Dividend, but people like it. So the things you should look for in the debates, and I'm looking for in the debates, I'm looking for Pete Buttigieg to get his comeuppance. I'm looking forward to that because I think it's long overdue. I think on the national stage, it needs to be exposed for who he is. I think the issue of the pretending that he has a whole lot of black support, that should come back to bite him. And I'm hoping that, I hope Tulsi Gabbard does it. Then I hope Bernie calls him out on this Medicare for all nonsense that he's been spewing, using these talking points. Well, we have to, we don't want to take health care away. I think Americans love choice, and to take away their health care would be not a choice. That's what people are looking for. And if the set of attributes that are most predictable for the American people would be the attributes of choice and freedom, of liberty, and that's what we want to restore. And I hope that Bernie just hears that shit and he just sees red. He does an Al Pacino like, you're talking. You're talking and you're talking. You're talking. It just goes in. That would be great. Did you enjoy that content? I know you did. You got great taste, Johnson. What can I say? Become a member of the Tim Black Wolf Pack today right here on YouTube or go to patreon.com, Tim's Take Live. And you'll get free stuff, special stuff, secret stuff. Do it today. Wolf Pack.